Market Fresh, broadcasting live from San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
And a very good day, everyone. Great to have you with us on this International Cabernet Day. That's right. So if you haven't yet, and you are so inclined, I recommend stopping by one of your favorite restaurants or tasting rooms and sampling a little Cabernet. I've got one going under the desk here right now. It is a wonderful glass of 2010. Let me just make sure I have this right here. 2010 Eberle Cab. Their flagship vintage, as a matter of fact. It's been deemed a reserve year by their winemaker. The palate full of rich flavors. Let me just taste it to be sure. Yeah, cassis, black cherry, cola with notes of dark chocolate and a hint of sweet marjoram. You can find out more at eberlewinery.com, E-B-E-R-L-E winery.com. And I should let you know that this portion of the Eat, Drink, Explore radio show is brought to you by Eberle. They are open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. No better day than today to go and get your hands on some Cab. You don't want to let International Cabernet Day pass you by without having at least a little bit from Eberle. Located on 46 East in Paso Robles, you can, like I said, log on to eberlewinery.com for more information. All right, what do we have coming up? This Saturday is the beer event in the Mission Plaza. Brews and Bites is what it's called, and it benefits Woods Humane Society and the Slow Brewers Guild, which works to promote tourism to SLO County breweries. If you're listening to this on Sunday, I apologize. It means it was yesterday because this does re-air on Sunday mornings. But if you're listening on Thursday night right now, then you know that this coming Saturday is the day that it's all about. And here's what's cool. It's free to get into. It's right there in the Mission Plaza from noon until 5 in the afternoon. And it does cost to sample the beers, but it doesn't cost to be at the event, which includes music and all sorts of things. So you might consider that. For more information, you can go to slowbrewsandbites.com. Also, we are quickly running out of time. Savor the Central Coast, a month away. And you, as a local, get a 15% discount. It's only good, though, through the end of August, which is just days away. What is that? Saturday's the last day for this bonus. So if you go to savorcentralcoast.com and enter the promo code LOCAL, you will get the 15% discount. It is specifically for the main event there at Santa Margarita Ranch, both Saturday and Sunday, or you can get an all-inclusive main event, which includes both days. It's also good for the slow or the Savor Run through downtown San Luis Obispo. So keep that in mind as well. So savorcentralcoast.com, enter the promo code LOCAL. You only have through Saturday to get your 15%. You don't want it to be a month from now at the end of September, and then you're like, oh, we really want to go to Savor. I guess we'll pay full price. No, get the discount. I highly recommend it. Also, I would also recommend going to Facebook and jumping on their Facebook feed because they're constantly mentioning different sorts of contests and discounts that you can hop on board as well. All right, we are just a couple of minutes away from the big kickoff of our Market Fresh Hour. Lots of great guests coming up on the show today. We'll be talking organics, specifically an alternative to organics is our first guest. We will also be giving you an idea. If you run a market here in town, you'll want to pay attention because a farmer's market, that is. We have a great idea for you from another Central Coast market that knows what they're doing. And then, not that you don't know what you're doing, it's just they've come up with this really good idea. And then we will also talk about energy through food. Don't make food mistakes throughout the day that slow you down. All right, you're listening to Market Fresh. Back in just a moment.
The award-winning Sunset Savor the Central Coast is once again set to highlight San Luis Obispo County this September 26th to the 29th. Many of your favorite events are returning to the lineup, as well as some new ways to play. Don't miss Sunset in the Vineyard on Saturday, September 28th at the Vina Robles Amphitheater. Start the night under a star-filled Paso Robles sky with a food and wine reception. Celebrity chef Michael Voltaggio will be on hand for a special book signing, and Grammy Award-winning Kobe Calais will perform her hit songs. Also new this year is the Savor Run, a 5 and 10K run or walk through downtown San Luis Obispo on Sunday, September 29th. A portion of your entry fee for this event helps rehabilitate local cancer survivors. For these events and more ways to play at this year's Sunset Savor the Central Coast, visit savorcentralcoast.com.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
And hello, everyone. Great to have you here. You have arrived at California's #1 place to talk about current trends regarding the freshest, most local and seasonal food and beverages. This is the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Market Fresh Hour. Later this hour on today's program, we will talk about maximizing your energy level by considering the foods you eat or don't eat. It's not that complicated, but we'll have a certified health coach walk us through that, and so that you can really, even in the middle of the day when you have that kind of sluggish time, or in the evening, and then also how to work with your food and wind down at the end of the night so that you can get a really great night's rest. That is coming up on the program. Also, a little bit after that, we'll speak with the woman behind a new program that brings farm-to-table pop-up breakfasts to some farmers markets here on the Central Coast. Really great idea. It's a fundraiser as well, and they are, for the most part, sold out. It's a great idea, and if you attend a local market or you run a local market, you'll want to hear this for sure. It's a great idea that I want to see catch on. I want my local market to have it because I want to go to it. But first up this hour, we are talking certified organic. And, at any farmer's market on any given day in any number of cities and towns throughout the country, if you ask a farmer, and I've done this on many occasions, if their produce is pesticide-free, you are likely to get one of a few responses. One is, no, we spray. Another one might be, yes, it is pesticide-free, and then they usually follow with that up with, but it's not certified organic. Sometimes they feel the need to let you know that they're not saying that it's organic. They're just saying that they don't use pesticides. And then if you follow up with that question, you are likely to find out that it is not an easy nor inexpensive process to get that organic certification. Many farmers have, and I think hats off to them. That is fantastic that they do. Many others, either they just don't have the volume, or there are some other circumstances that are involved that just make it very difficult or too cost prohibitive for them to have that organic certification. And that doesn't mean that their produce is inferior. It just doesn't meet certain guidelines laid out by the federal government regarding organics. So with that in mind, some farmers in New York got together and said, what if we had a different type of certification that still let people know that our produce is grown following, certain standards, it is pesticide-free and those sorts of things. And it really took off up in the Northeast, called Certified Naturally Grown. It has spread throughout the United States, here in California as well. And I, for one, want to know more about it. So I thought it would be a good idea to bring on Alice Varon. She's with certified naturally grown. You can find more information at naturallygrown.org. And Alice is on our guest live line right now. Hey, Alice, nice to have you with us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Randall. It's great to be here.
So if you were listening to that open, did I get it about right?
I love it. It's so fun to hear people tell our story and get it on the nose.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
Absolutely, yeah.
I thought you were going to say you did, except, no. So for most people, it's not that they don't want to become certified organic. It's just that there are these barriers in place.
Yeah. I think a lot of our members appreciate that the National Organic Program exists and want to see it succeed. But when they looked into the nitty-gritty of what would be required to go through that certification process, they ended up deciding that it just wasn't a good fit for their particular operation.
What are some of the biggest hurdles, Alice, that you hear from the farmers that have decided to go certified naturally grown as opposed to certified organic? What were some of the biggest hurdles that they just, found were too big to surmount?
Well, it's really the ones that you mentioned. For some farmers, it's the paperwork that's required.
And that's ongoing, right? That's you have to continue with the paperwork.
It's the hardest the first year that you apply. That's when you have to write your organic system plan and document all your crops. There's definitely an upfront investment in going through the organic certification process. And for a lot of farms, it's worth it. And then in the subsequent years, I understand that it's less. But a lot of our members are just getting off the ground. They're in their first 5 years of farming, and it's just not something they're prepared to take on. And we feel like we're doing something we're offering something valuable by giving them a way to convey their practices and their values to customers at the farmers market, which is where most of our members sell.
I was going to ask that. Is this something that large commercial growers use, or is it typically the ones that set up shop at a local market?
Yeah, it's a program that's specifically tailored for direct market farmers who are producing food for their local communities, and they're typically selling through maybe a CSA, definitely through many farmers markets, or a farm stand on site, and through some local health food stores as well.
Now, we have heard on many occasions that the word natural does not have any teeth to it when it comes to labeling. So I'm wondering, do people ever question that? Do they say, oh, well, I've heard natural doesn't mean anything? Do you then have to let them know that yours is something different?
It is a challenge for us because there are some less scrupulous companies that have sought to play on people's desire to have natural food, and they know that that's a selling term that isn't regulated. It's a word in the English language, so I hope it will retain its meaning. And it's definitely not the kind of thing that we're playing into. We're very transparent about the standards, what it means for a farm to be called certified naturally grown. It comes with a set of growing practices as well as program requirements. They've all been inspected. So we hope to overcome that skepticism. And generally speaking, when people find out about our purpose and what we mean, they're very excited to learn.
We're speaking with Alice Varon. She's with Certified Naturally Grown. More information at naturallygrown.org. When we come back, we will speak with Alice about exactly what it takes to get this level of certification. Also, where they're picking up more and more growers along these lines. Alice, as you know, our show is broadcast on California's Central Coast, which in some areas is known as the nation's salad bowl. Also, just over the hills, we have California's Central Valley. And boy, I just saw a picture from NASA showing that fire burning in Yosemite, the Rim Fire. And you really could get the concept of how huge and immense and agriculturally filled that Central Valley is. It's just unreal. So Alice, we'll address some of those things coming back in just a moment. You are listening to Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh Hour. I'm your host, Randall White, and we are back in just a moment.
Luna Red Riverside Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo is the perfect spot for a weekend brunch offered every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy farm-to-table breakfast plates such as the Ribbit Benedicts, Mission Steak and Eggs, and quinoa waffles topped with fresh market berries. Or opt for a lunch plate such as the grilled Asian-style fish taco salad or the roast chicken bacon avocado sandwich. Lounge on the sunny patio with views of the historical Mission Plaza while savoring our bottomless mimosas offered from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Hang out on Sunday afternoons from 3 to 5 p.m. and catch our live music on the patio during $5 happy hour. Luna Red also accommodates large parties, so call us today to make a reservation. Follow us on Facebook for daily specials and visit our website, lunaredslo.com, to view current seasonal menus, our live music schedule, or check out our happy hour offerings. Luna Red is located at 1023 Choro Street at the corner of Monterey. Come to be fulfilled.
Hey, Central Coast locals, it is time to save 15% on your tickets to this year's Sunset Savor the Central Coast main event, Saturday and Sunday, September 28th and 29th. It's easy. Just visit savorcentralcoast.com, enter the promo code LOCAL during checkout, and voila, your savings are complete. This year's theme is Time to Play, so why not play at a discount while learning tips from top celebrity chefs, tasting some of the area's best local wines, as well as farm-to-plate culinary creations. Runners, you too can save an additional $10 on the inaugural Savor Run, a 5 and 10K walk run through downtown San Luis Obispo. Not only do you save money, but a portion of your entry fee also helps local cancer survivors with fitness programs. So do it now, before time runs out. You only have until the end of the month to cash in on these savings. Visit savorcentralcoast.com. Use the promo code LOCAL. See you at the main event. And welcome back to the program, everyone. 19 minutes past the hour now. Great to have you with us here on the Eat, Drink, Explore radio network, specifically our Market Fresh Hour. I am your host, Randall White. We're talking all things food, wine, travel, specifically, though, about farm fresh products. And I know that a lot of you really look for and enjoy organic produce when you're at your local farmer's market, and may ask the vendors whether something is organic or in some cases pesticide free. Well, there is a new certification that is growing strength here in the United States, and it's called Certified Naturally Grown. If you're looking for more information on this, check out naturallygrown.org. We are joined by Alice Varon from Certified Naturally Grown, who's giving us a really good sense of what this is all about. And Alice, thank you for holding on through the commercial break there.
Sure thing. Happy to be here.
So what is the big difference between Certified Naturally Grown and Certified Organic?
Sure, good question. The main difference, there's two really. One is that we are specifically a program for direct market farmers who are selling locally, but it's similar in that our standards are based on the National Organic Program standards. So just like organic farmers, certified naturally grown farmers don't use any synthetic fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides, or fungicides, and no GMO seeds in their crops. The other difference is a significant one, which is that the inspection process is carried out typically by other farmers in the area. So it's a peer review certification program.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives it the added benefit of building connections among farmers, strengthening the farming community, because it creates opportunities for farmers to get together and learn from each other and share techniques and knowledge, which is really the best way, one of the best ways to encourage a strong movement for sustainable agriculture is to have knowledge exchange.
And I would imagine by having your fellow farmers, you can band together, but they're also in some way competition. And so by having the competition check you out and make sure that you're following it, they're going to make sure you're doing it right, I would imagine.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's one way to look at it. Another more perhaps optimistic way is that the farmers conducting the inspections themselves want it to be a meaningful program that has some cachet with their customers. So they don't want to let people in if they're going to be cutting corners and cheating, because it hurts everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if it loses, if at all, it starts to get tarnished and show that it doesn't have any teeth, then it just becomes worthless. It's worthless certification.
Right. Yeah, why bother?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no federal paperwork with this because you're not a federal organization.
Right. We're an independent nonprofit that's not affiliated with any government agency. We're funded primarily through the farmers who participate, so we're very grassroots.
Okay. And so some people might say, well, is this for a farmer that's almost organic?
Right. I know that's often the perception, but it's not the case. It's, for farmers who are fully committed to organic practices as strictly defined. And, many of our farmers are proud that they don't even use the inputs that are allowed in the National Organic Program, but we're neither trying to be almost organic, nor are we necessarily setting out standards that are beyond organic. We're a parallel system that we see as an important complement to the National Organic Program that is intentionally inclusive of the small-scale farmers who are going to be perhaps future certified organic farmers once they get bigger and want to access larger markets.
Right, and we talked about that, that sometimes the organic certification can just be too pricey, too costly for the smaller farmers that are doing the direct-to-consumer at the farmers markets. So how much does your program cost?
Right. Our certification program for farmers is $110 per year. $110 is the minimum. We know that there are many farmers in Certified Naturally Grown who can afford more than that and wish to support us. So we recommend $125 to $200 and let the farmers decide what they're comfortable with. And that added amount over the $110 goes towards investing in the organization and helping us grow.
Yeah.
And that's considerably less than any organic certification body that I know of. Those typically are in the many hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars, which makes sense for larger operations, but doesn't really make as much sense for many of our members.
Now, let's say we have some vendors who are listening right now and are thinking, oh, finally, some sort of certification process that we can do and display at the market so that when people do come up like me and ask about the pesticide use and such, they can point to that. If they're listening right now, after contacting you and such, how long is this process?
Right. It can go fairly quickly as 2 or 3 weeks. The first step would be to complete an application right on our website. You don't need to have anything mailed to you. Our application asks about production methods. How do you handle pests and weeds and fertility? And based on that, we may have some questions. But once those are addressed and everything seems to be in order, the next step is to arrange your on-farm inspection once your application is approved, and that's typically what takes the longest. But if you are in an area with other certified naturally grown or organic farmers, then who might be tapped to do an inspection, then it might go very quickly. So.
And we should mention that there are some within our listening area and some on the borders too that I didn't include, but directly within our listening area, we have Gray's Lavender and Herb Farm in Atascadero, Heart of Paso Produce out of Paso Robles, and Lamonto's Meyer Lemons in Hollister. So there are 3 within the big bulk Central Coast range where you can hear this show. And as I was mentioning before the commercial break, 3 is a drop in the bucket compared to the number of farms we have out there. So I know that you're just getting started and just expanding. Is California a target market for you?
You know, I think it is. We haven't invested a lot in California. The farmers who participate in California really have come to us and found us. But it's a big country, and we're a modestly sized group. So to date, we've invested mostly in states on the eastern part of the country, and especially in the south is where there's a lot of interest.
Oh, really?
And growth, absolutely. And I think it's one of the exciting things about the maturing of the organic movement that we're seeing real interest in farming organically and on a small scale in state
Alice?
Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, we had a little glitch there where we didn't hear your voice for a moment. You were mentioning Mississippi.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of growth in Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, Alabama, and I think it's partly because this is where sustainable agriculture is getting a foothold, and there aren't as many organic farms there already.
Oh, right.
And there are some farmers markets that require certification, either certified organic or certified naturally grown in Georgia, and that has resulted in a lot of farmers participating and a lot of customer awareness. So,
well, for our listeners, if you're a farmer and you know Lamonto's Meyer Lemons, I love Meyer Lemons, Heart of Paso Produce, or anyone with Gray's Lavender and Herb Farm, and you want to get on board with this, contact them. Ask them how they feel about it and learn a little inside information there. And absolutely go to naturallygrown.org. Alice Varon, thank you so much for, and I got your last name right? Varon, like
absolutely.
Heron, like the bird. That was the little tip you gave me.
It sounds like heron. It's not spelled like heron.
Right. Certified naturally grown. I think it's the next big thing, personally.
I'm glad to be here and share more about it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back on as it grows in popularity here on the West Coast.
Let's do it.
All right, stick around, everyone, because just after the break, we are going to learn how you can choose which foods you eat or don't eat throughout the day, and some other little practices to make sure you have the highest energy level possible. I'm your host, Randall White, and we are back in just a moment.
Luna Red Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo is the perfect spot for a weekend brunch offered every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy farm-to-table breakfast plates such as the Ribba Benedicts, Mission steak and eggs, and quinoa waffles topped with fresh market berries. Or opt for a lunch plate such as the grilled Asian-style fish taco salad or the roast chicken bacon avocado sandwich. Lounge on the sunny patio with views of the historical Mission Plaza while savoring our bottomless mimosas offered from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Hang out on Sunday afternoons from 3 to 5 p.m. and catch our live music on the patio during $5 happy hour. Luna Red also accommodates large parties, so call us today to make a reservation. Follow us on Facebook for daily specials and visit our website, lunaredslo.com, to view current seasonal menus, our live music schedule, or check out our happy hour offerings. Luna Red is located at 1023 Choro Street at the corner of Monterey. Come to be fulfilled.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Minutes now past the hour. Great to have you with us, everyone. Welcome to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network's Market Fresh Hour. I am your host, Randall White, and this portion of the show is brought to you by Luna Red Restaurant, just off Mission Plaza in downtown, I should say, historic downtown San Luis Obispo. You know, it is the perfect location to enjoy happy hour in the downtown. $5 happy hour. Sunday through Wednesday, 3 to 6 p.m., so it's happy hours, and then Thursday, all day long. Whether you are visiting San Luis Obispo or you call this stretch of the Central Coast your home, Luna Red is a locavor's dream, that is for sure. For more information, head to lunaredslo.com. All right, how's your energy level doing? I mean, seriously, how's your energy level? You feeling it? You have plenty to sustain you all throughout the day, or do you find yourself constantly hitting the local cafe or one of the chains like Starbucks or Pete's to get your caffeine boost so that you can continue doing what you're doing? Well, we're here to introduce you to someone who can help you sustain your energy level throughout the day with 5 natural ways to do it with little or even no caffeine. Michelle Pfennig House is on the line right now and on the Eat, Drink, Explore live line. And she's here with these tips, 8 of them to be precise. Michelle, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Randall. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, when I saw your piece that you sent to me, I was like, oh, this is perfect for our show. I love it. And then as I went through the different ones, I found some things that I did that I probably shouldn't do. And then others that I'm like, okay, no, I'm good with that one. But let's start in the morning because we might as well do this in a chronological day. You get up and the first thing a lot of people do is drink coffee, but you're saying that's not necessarily the best choice.
Well, it's like coffee is so compelling. It's like that smells so good. You want it first thing in the morning. It is really hard, and a lot of people are just going to turn a deaf ear right now when I say don't go for the coffee. But
Right.
It's sort of like making a deal with the devil because although you will get that initial boost of energy, every single day that you drink coffee, you're depleting your adrenal glands and you're making yourself more tired. So it's ironic that this is the state of affairs where we get up in the morning and we go straight for the thing that's really going to kill our energy for the rest of the day.
Because it really does just give you a temporary boost and then leaves you sapped and lower in energy than what you would be if you didn't have it at all. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of knows that to be true, but I just want to impress upon you that the way coffee works is to force your adrenal glands, which are little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, they force those glands to push out adrenaline. They push out energy that you don't really have.
Yeah.
So in essence, you're taxing those adrenal glands unnecessarily and depleting them so that then they don't work as well.
Yeah. So you call that an energy zap, and you say instead drink water.
It's so simple, but when you've been asleep all night long, your body's dehydrated. So just good common sense is, what would make my body feel better? I know, water. And I don't mean like a little sip of water, like while you're brushing your teeth or something like that. You really want to consume like an entire glass of water in the morning before you even think about drinking anything else.
Why is it so hard for people to drink enough water? It seems
no
like one of these
idea.
monumental tasks, to get people on board. But and this is specifically true if you have a hangover. One of the things that causes most of the symptoms with a hangover, the headache, the achiness, the nausea, the fatigue, is dehydration. Caused from drinking too much the night before. So a lot of people combat that by, like we said before, drinking coffee. And as you've now shown, it's really the water that you need to replenish with.
And of course, coffee is a diuretic, which means it's going to make you go to the bathroom and lose even more fluid. So then you're even more dehydrated, and the cycle goes on.
And then also in the morning hours, you have a lot of people that just skip breakfast.
Absolutely. I mean, everyone's busy in the morning. But I think something that's worse than skipping breakfast is eating cereal or eating a muffin or having a bagel, with your coffee on the way to work. I honestly think that's worse than eating nothing.
Because you get a carbohydrate
sounds crazy.
shock?
Exactly. I mean, if you eat, and I'm not suggesting that you should eat nothing, but if you were to eat nothing, your blood sugar would be on a steady decline like it has been all night long. You don't have anything in your system. Great. That's, obviously not going to work out so great for you in the long run. But when you have a bagel or a muffin, you're going to shoot your blood sugar up real fast with all those carbohydrates, and it's going to come crashing down, and you're going to be starving like around 10, 11 o'clock and wondering why, and you're going to be tired all over again.
What if you do whole grain cereals? Like I do a mixture of oatmeal, chia seeds, and hemp hearts. Does that count? Because I really like.
Well, to me, it doesn't really sound like a cereal, like a box cereal. It sounds like you actually have oats, like a real, actual oat itself, and actual chia seeds, and that's fantastic. These are real whole foods. When I say cereal, I mean anything that comes in a box, because 99.9% of the time, those are processed within an inch of their lives and also comes with sugar.
Yeah. And so how do you recommend that people get their blood sugar balanced instead so that they do sustain the energy in the morning?
The most important foods you can emphasize are those that are high in protein and naturally occurring fats. So something I love in the morning is plain yogurt with nuts or hard-boiled eggs, and these things are really fast. Yogurt's just as fast to eat as anything else. Almond butter on a banana, anything that is really emphasizing that protein and fat that's going to stay with you and keep your blood sugar steady throughout the whole morning.
Yeah, nuts are terrific. I crumble in addition to what I mentioned before, I do crumble in some walnuts into that mixture as well, and it gives me exactly what you were talking about there. All right, so you also, the morning time is a good time to make some plans so that what doesn't happen?
Well, I think, I got to tell you, I used to have a job in advertising that I hated, and every morning I felt like dragging myself out of bed was the hardest thing to do because I didn't want to go. I did not want to be at that job. If I really was honest with myself, there was nothing I wanted to get up for. So I think that a big piece of having energy is having something to look forward to, whether it's your job or it's that, great class that you're going to go take at the gym or people that you're going to see that day. It's really important to structure your life in a way that your body says, yes, let's get up. Let's make this happen.
A lot. Now let's move into the afternoon hours, and this is, people have lunch, they get sluggish, and then they're sitting in front of that computer screen like I do, as a matter of fact, for many hours, which can turn you into a zombie. How do you avoid that?
Well, have you ever noticed when you're sitting there at the computer or even on your iPhone that you kind of stop breathing?
Yeah, especially if you're looking down. That's not a good posture, and I notice everyone's doing it now. It doesn't matter where they are, in a parking lot,
absolutely.
At the grocery store. Everyone's got that down, kind of hunched over, looking at their phone screen.
Yeah, so the way to combat that is, first of all, stand up. Your posture is huge, and you inhale, deeply, fill your lungs completely, because when we're engrossed with something on the screen, I do it all the time. I realize I've been holding my breath the whole time I've been writing this email, and that's a sure way to have no energy if you have no oxygen.
Yeah. Let's talk about what we should eat for lunch so that we don't hit that midday slump.
Sure. Well, really, it's the same idea. You always want to be emphasizing healthy proteins, fats, and vegetables, and sort of minimizing the grains, minimizing the sugar, and even fruit. I mean, fruit is great for you, but I don't want you to eat 4 apples for lunch because that's just going to not do great things for your blood sugar. So sort of the same stuff we talked about in the morning. The meats and the nuts and anywhere that you can get the protein is really important. What
are the benefits of raw food? I know that you shared a picture with us that we're sharing for people who are watching online at eatdrinkexplore.com that are some raw wraps that look delicious. Why raw?
Well, raw is a really interesting thing. It can be difficult for some people to digest raw food. It depends what state your stomach is in, how you're doing. But if you're in a healthy place with your digestion, raw food can be so amazing because raw food has raw living enzymes. That food is still alive. So it's not really the fact that it's raw, because beef carpaccio is raw and sushi is raw, but the fact that it's alive. And if you're to eat living enzymes, that's very different than eating a food that is dead.
Yeah.
So it's worth incorporating some of that into your diet.
Michelle, let's move into the evening hours now with the minute or so that we have left. And this is a very important time of day because it's when your batteries recharge for the next day, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think most of us just come home and slouch around on the couch, and we've been sitting all day. We just sit some more, and then we go to bed and we wonder, why can't I fall asleep? So I really think it's important to, move and get up and do things while in your awake hours, especially if you've been on the computer all day. And when you go to bed, do everything you can to get a good night's sleep. I wear an eye mask. I use a white noise machine, whatever it takes so that you get your full 8, 9, even 10 hours. Some people need more than others.
How much time would you recommend people need for that wind down period before they actually put head to pillow?
If you could do an hour, that would be amazing. 30 minutes is great. But to keep all the electronics, out of the way, keep it out of the bedroom, maybe just read a book, dim the lights. These are all ways of signaling to your body, okay, it's nighttime now. Turn it off, shut it down.
Yeah.
Time to go to sleep.
Great tips. They're all available on our website at eatdrinkexplore.com. Just click on today's program summary. Michelle Fennighaus, certified health coach. Thanks for joining us today. FindYourBalanceHealth.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Randall.
All right, stick around, everyone. We're talking farm-to-table pop-up breakfasts at your local farmers market. Up next.
Luna Red Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo is the perfect spot for a weekend brunch offered every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy farm-to-table breakfast plates such as the Ribba Benedicts, Mission Steak and Eggs, and quinoa waffles topped with fresh market berries. Or opt for a lunch plate such as the grilled Asian-style fish taco salad or the roast chicken bacon avocado sandwich. Lounge on the sunny patio with views of the historical Mission Plaza while savoring our bottomless mimosas offered from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Hang out on Sunday afternoons from 3 to 5 p.m. and catch our live music on the patio during $5 happy hour. Luna Red also accommodates large parties, so call us today to make a reservation. Follow us on Facebook for daily specials and visit our website, lunaredslo.com, to view current seasonal menus, our live music schedule, or check out our happy hour offerings. Luna Red is located at 1023 Choro Street at the corner of Monterey. Come to be fulfilled.
The award-winning Sunset Savor the Central Coast is once again set to highlight San Luis Obispo County this September 26th to the 29th. Many of your favorite events are returning to the lineup, as well as some new ways to play. Don't miss Sunset in the Vineyard on Saturday, September 28th at the Vina Robles Amphitheater. Start the night under a star-filled Paso Robles sky with a food and wine reception. Celebrity chef Michael Voltaggio will be on hand for a special book signing, and Grammy Award-winning Kobe Calais will perform her hit songs. Also new this year is the Savor Run, a 5 and 10K run or walk through downtown San Luis Obispo on Sunday, September 29th. A portion of your entry fee for this event helps rehabilitate local cancer survivors. For these events and more ways to play at this year's Sunset Savor the Central Coast, visit savorcentralcoast.com.
Welcome back, everyone. It is now 49 minutes past the hour. Time for the final segment of the Eat, Drink, Explore Market Fresh Hour. Keep in mind, there's another whole hour of great food, great craft beer, wine, travel and tourism talk. Sundays 5 to 9 right here on this station. For the segment today, we're taking a look at farmers market trends, specifically a successful program instituted this summer in Santa Cruz at the markets run by the Santa Cruz Community Farmers Markets Organization. You can find more information at Santa Cruz FarmersMarket.org. They're called pop-up breakfasts, and they are a huge success. You may remember, within the last decade, you've seen these pop-up restaurants in San Francisco and some other foodie cities spring up around the country, where local chefs want to do something a little different, a little something outside their typical menu, highlight their talents in a way so they find a community place where people can come together. This is the first I've heard, anyway, of this taking place at a farmer's market, and I love the idea of it happening at breakfast time. Joining us on the Eat, Drink, Explore live line to tell us more about how they work is Nicole Zahm. Welcome to the program, Nicole.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great to have you here. And I love the idea. I love the program. And apparently I'm not the only one. Looking at your website, it looks like just about every single one of these is sold out except for the final one.
It's true. Yeah, they've been very well received here. There's a lot of support in the Santa Cruz region and nationally right now for local food, organic food. And so I think that's part of why they've been well received.
Now, there is one in September, but that one,
yes,
as I understand, is sold out. Is there any kind of a waiting list if people show up at the market and, one of the parties doesn't arrive or something, they can be fit in?
We do have a waiting list. That one sold out almost 2 months ago.
Whoa.
But generally speaking, we don't have a lot of cancellations, and we are working at capacity in terms of the space and just keeping the mood and the environment within our goals of the atmosphere so that it still is quaint. It's their kind of the setup of the breakfast is a long family style table, and so we don't want to go too high in our numbers because we'll start losing some of that intimacy that is created at these breakfasts.
Keep it manageable and keep the community in Santa Cruz community farmers markets, right?
Yeah.
Now, the one in October, what's the date of that? And it at least the last time I checked, it still does have seats available.
Yeah, so that event is at the West Side Market in Santa Cruz, and it's on October 5th. And we do have those are selling out pretty steadily, but we do have about 20 spots left for that breakfast.
Great. So I'm curious where you got the idea for this. Did you see it at another market here in California or somewhere in the U.S., or did you just come up with the idea yourself?
Yeah, no, none of the partners involved had ever heard of a pop-up breakfast happening at a farmer's market, but there are many farms in this region that do farm dinners. Mm-hmm. And so the director of Santa Cruz Community Farmers Markets, Nash Dillon, he's worked for the association for about 10 years. Breakfast is his favorite meal, and most of our markets take place in the earlier hours of the day.
Right.
So he had just had it kind of in the back of his mind as an option. At some point, maybe we would try to do something around breakfast. And then at this Edible Monterey Bay, woman, Sarah Wood, the editor there, approached us because they've supported a lot of different farms and food-related organizations to do these kind of spontaneous pop-up events. And she approached us about doing one, and Nash said, well, this is a great opportunity. We have a connection to a magazine with a lot of reach to try to promote it. And so it was piloted last year, one breakfast at the West Side Market, and it went beautifully. And so afterwards we sat down to a drink together and started plotting out how can we turn this into a series for the coming year, and what are our goals, what do we want it to look like, what is the purpose in terms of education, in terms of fundraising, all those details.
Yeah, that's when the best ideas are hatched, I think, over a drink.
Yeah, right.
So, Nicole, tell me, how did you decide which chefs or local restaurants or purveyors to pair up with for these breakfasts?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so most of the chefs that are being featured at these events we've had long partnerships with them. Some of them have started their businesses. They've been incubated as a small vendor at the farmers market, and over 2 years, 5 years, they've come to have really successful storefronts in town as well. And so we're looking for a skill set, some creativity and spontaneity, because they're not working in a kitchen. They're working in a makeshift kitchen that's set up in a market. So it has to be a chef that can roll with that environment and have fun with it.
Be a little experimental, those sorts of chefs. Hey, in the time we have left, can you give a heads up to some of the market organizers or vendors that might be listening throughout our listenership area for some pitfalls, things you won't do when you bring it back next year?
Let's see. Well, I think one of the struggles is just figuring out the price point. So really spend some time thinking about that. We've tried to keep the ticket price really low because a lot of these farm-to-table events are far beyond like middle-class, low-income people.
Yeah.
And so we want, because it has an educational goal, we want to bring as many people, residents from Santa Cruz, into these events. So just really spending some time thinking about that.
I'm so glad I'm so glad that that's one of the aspects, because the last thing we want to see are farmers markets become more elitist than they may already be. And we want them to. The whole purpose is for the average person to be able to connect with where their food comes from and that sort of thing. It sounds like you use these as an educational tool as well.
We do. We also, well, let me tell you, a couple of the hard parts have just been, one time we had a reservation for 32 tickets or 34 tickets, all from one group, and they showed up late. So thinking about how, if something like that happens, how you're going to still create the intimate environment for the half of the people that have already arrived.
Right.
Some of it is just the troubleshooting that happens on the spots, and then and the next time that happens, we'll know how to roll with it. But the timing of the food is really important, so working with skilled chefs that know how to plate up for 85 people, one dish within 5 minutes, that's a big challenge and a big skill. And then in terms of our successes, I think some of the most admirable aspects of the program is that we employ local youth who have been involved in food justice work to work these events. There are farmers available to talk with people at each event.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Nicole Zom with the Santa Cruz Farmers Markets, or I should say the Santa Cruz Community Farmers Markets. Their website, however, Santa Cruz Farmers Market, singular.org. Nicole, keep up the great work. I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to try one of these.
Thank you very much, Randall.
All right, everyone, and that does it for the Market Fresh Hour. And another reminder, there is another whole hour of great food, craft beer, wine, travel, and tourism talk, Sundays 9 to 10, right here on this station. I am your host, Randall White, saying bon appetit for now. Everyone, it is now 49 minutes past the hour. Time for the final segment of the Eat, Drink, Explore Market Fresh Hour. Keep in mind, there's another whole hour of great food, great craft beer, wine, travel, and tourism talk, Sundays 5 to 9 right here on this station. For the segment today, we're taking a look at farmers market trends, specifically a successful program instituted this summer in Santa Cruz at the markets run by the Santa Cruz Community Farmers Markets Organization. You can find more information at Santa CruzFarmersMarket.org. They're called pop-up breakfasts, and they are a huge success. You may remember, within the last decade, you've seen these pop-up restaurants in San Francisco and some other hip foodie cities spring up around the country where local chefs want to do something a little different, a little something outside their typical menu, highlight their talents in a way so they find a community place where people can come together. This is the first I've heard, anyway, of this taking place